Hello, everyone. My name is Haley, and I am a psychic medium, and this is Lori. Lori, do you want to tell everybody what it is that you do? And then I'll give them a little rundown about what it is that I do.
Absolutely. So I am a master hypnotist and physiognomist, which is someone who reads faces.
Yeah. And so today we are going to be reading Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's faces and energy. I read energy while Lori reads faces. This is something that we do for fun on our own. And we thought, how cool would it be to just bring this to the public and see what we get from reading these two people's energies and faces, just because it's what we do and we love it. See what we come up with. We are not coming from any place of bias. This is completely neutral. Funnily enough, actually, I sent, when the case first started, like a month ago, back in April, I thought, oh, this is interesting. Never really having a feeling either way necessarily about Johnny or Amber. I kind of never really liked Johnny that much. And after kind of reading their energy initially, I realized why that might be. So I realized the whole world was like in love with this man and is supporting him and couldn't stand Amber. I'm like, oh, this is really interesting. Let me see what I can find. So I pulled up their photos, read their energy, and I was pretty surprised at what I received. And so I sent them to Lori. She actually confirmed the same thing. But we're not going to talk about what we personally think. This is really just about reading the photos. We'll pull them up on the screen, see what we get. I'm an evidential medium and spirit artist, so a psychic medium. I can look at somebody and tell a whole lot of things about them just by the way that their energy appears. I can connect with their loved ones on the other side. But yeah, for the purpose of this video, we're going to be just reading their energy and faces, and it's going to be so much fun. The purpose of this is just complete entertainment and fun. A lot of people don't do this, but I'm also going to just see if I can psychically tune in to the outcome of what happens in the future with this case. I may be wrong, I may be right, but energy does not lie. Face readings do not lie. Right, Lori?
Yeah, it's everything that I'm going to be sharing with you tonight is just a compilation of information that comes from face reading books and face reading courses that I've taken. I'm obsessed with it, with my craft, just like Haley's obsessed with her craft. It's like all we can do, you guys. When we get together, yeah. We just have so much fun because we're just constantly pinging back and forth on each other. And it's been really fun to do these readings and to see the two sides and how they come together. And I am super curious to see. Haley hasn't told me what she's been receiving. So I'm very excited. And I haven't told her what I've found as I've done face readings on Johnny Depp and Amber. So
yeah, but usually they align. Like when we read photos, I get information and then Lori comes right in and she's like, oh my gosh, I see the same things, but it's just reading them in a different kind of way. So yeah, hopefully people don't get mad at this reading. Like I said, this is coming from a non-biased place. I have asked my ego to leave and just bring through whatever spirit and my intuition wants to bring through. So anything else we need to add, you think? I don't know. We're going to bring up their photos. And
we're just going to keep this lighthearted. It's for fun. And on my end, for purposes of, I mean, these two people are in a court case right now. This is, they're in a fight in a court case. And so I really thought it would be more interesting to see kind of the shadow aspects of their physiognomy. So there are many good qualities about both of them in their face. Everybody is a mix of great stuff and not so great stuff. Everybody, I don't care if you're Mother Teresa, there's going to be some not so great stuff in your face as well. So everybody is a mashup of good and bad. And for the purposes of what we're doing, I'm kind of going a little bit to the dark side. So everyone's cool with that.
There's no holding back. I'm literally going to say everything that I receive, and Lori will as well. So maybe we should just get to it and just see what comes up. Also, we have multiple pictures of them at different stages. For Lori's purposes, reading a face like currently in the current state that they're in, our faces change over time. And so I wanted to get a variety of photos, especially for Lori to read, to see what she picks up on, because it's really fascinating. Her face readings are one of my favorite things. And it's really kind of like, I always kind of relate it to palm reading almost. And you say, what is the thing that you say, like that who uses this again? Who uses face reading?
Yeah, face reading is a science, and it's used by the CIA uses it to profile terrorists. It's used in jury selection. Disney uses it to draw all of their characters, and they use it to cast their characters. In fact, they've used physiognomy to cast Johnny Depp in all of the movies that they've put him in. They've looked at his face to see if it's a matchup for what he's playing. And we'll find throughout this that a lot of his personality traits that he conveys through his characters are part of his real personality in real life, which I think is fascinating too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so whether or not you're team Amber or team Johnny, this is just for fun, from a psychic and a hypnotherapist, face reader, to friends, really good friends that love to just read people. So let's start. Do you want to bring up your photos first, Lori?
Sure, I'll bring them up.
Okay.
I'm going to bring up some photos here. Oh, can you screen share me?
Oh yeah.
Share screen me. And I'll pop these up here and we'll just go through them. The photos that I picked are photos that are, I picked for face reading purposes, because they're photos where you can really get a good look of some of the different lines and different things in each of their faces.
Did you get it?
Pull this up. Yep, I'm opening it. Okay. Here we go. Perfect. How's that looking, Haley?
It looks great.
Good. Okay. Let me see here.
That's a particularly kind of dark photo of Johnny, I feel like, and Amber, actually.
Yes.
But
yeah.
You're going to the shadow side, so.
We're going to the shadow side here. So I like this picture because you can kind of get a good look of where they are now, what they look like right now. And you can really kind of see here, especially what Amber's going through. You can see her chin. She's got some stippling in her chin here, and that's just a sign of fear. So there's some fear in her face right now in that stippling. So with Johnny, I like this because it shows some things that kind of jump out at me. Something that's always kind of jumped out at me in his pictures later in life, he didn't have this earlier in life, is this chipped eyebrow. He's got this chipped eyebrow, which in face reading means an unstable character and someone who typically doesn't have great relationships. And we'll find as we kind of go through his face, he's actually got a lot of features for someone who just is unlucky in relationships and just does not have great relationships. One of the other things that shows this is this, you can kind of see this concaveness in his cheekbones. And people who didn't get a whole lot of nurturing in childhood have this. It's typical of anyone who just, kind of had to go it up on their own as a child, just didn't get a whole lot of love and nurturing. And as a result, people that have it tend to have a difficult time really being nurturing themselves. And so we see that in his face, and this can lead to not having the greatest relationships either, because it's hard for those relationships to get really deep in a love sense. And so we see this here on Johnny as well. Something else I noticed in his face that stands out to me is if you look at his mouth, he's got these lines that kind of come out from his mouth, almost like a Joker, like Joker lines, these lines here.
So weird you say that. I've been thinking that about him all day, like this, like a Joker that kept coming.
Yeah.
It's weird you're saying that right now.
Yeah. Do you see it? So his lips are closed, and then you just see him on the side here kind of coming out. Mm-hmm. And this is someone who's been criticized a lot in their life over and over again. Mm-hmm. Probably when he was really young, criticized a lot as well. And as a result, he's very critical. He's a critical person. That's in his mouth. It's also in his eyes. You can kind of see as his eyelid kind of hangs over the sides of his eyes. This is another sign of someone who is critical. Mm-hmm. And when you have these features, and especially if there's more than one, it just adds to the fact that that is a really strong part of this person's personality. And so he's got the critical eye. So probably pointing out a lot of things he doesn't like, pointing out a lot of things that aren't right. Sometimes it can be hard for people with a lot of criticalness to think positively. And so this can be difficult in a relationship, because once things go bad, the people that are real critical are going to be just pointing out all the negative things. Yeah. So we're seeing that in his eyes. His lips are flagged here, which is someone who's just eloquent in speech, just really knows how to speak eloquently. And these lines here that he has, they're prosperity lines. And obviously he's made a lot of money in his life. And so he's got these lines here, which are really cool.
I feel like I have to add real quick, Lori, one thing we forgot to mention is that you are not familiar with these two people really much at all. You haven't watched the trial at all either. Is that correct?
I have not watched the trial. I've been just running around, too busy getting things done. So I have not watched the trial. I know just the little bit of talk that's been going around. I know it's a big deal. Yeah. And I know that it was kind of a tumultuous, I think, violent relationship. And that's what I know. And interesting that you bring that up, Haley, they both have these eyebrows that are really low. If you look at their eyebrows, I mean, Johnny's are way lower than Amber's, but these low eyebrows, people with low eyebrows are more physical. They're more physical, affectionately physical, and also they can be more physical in other ways, lashing out, fights, things like this. Mm-hmm. And again, you know, when you're looking at a face, it's not one feature and you're like, oh, that's it. This person's like a mass murderer because they have this one feature. It's more of a combination effect. If someone's got a combination of, like, Johnny Depp is a combination of features that say that he's not good at doing relationships. It's just in his face. This is not his first rodeo. Amber's a force to be reckoned with. This is the first one to stand up and be like, enough, but this is not his first rodeo.
Absolutely. That's very similar to the dynamics I pick up on from their energy as well. I think that she has a braveness to her. That is like, she is not going to stand for this and she's ready to stand up for herself. And yeah, I'll get into my reading in a little bit, but I totally agree with you. This is not the first time that these kind of situations have happened. It's just the first time that we're really hearing about it, or maybe the second time, because there was another case, but this is 2022 that we're talking about. As far as his other relationships go, this is the first time that we're hearing about alleged abuse. So
yeah, because and we'll see. Amber, if you look at her chin, let's just take a look at this chin. So different facial features in our face, when we think certain thoughts will activate certain muscles in our body. Like, you can think about when you get stressed and your whole body gets tense. If you do that enough, you're going to have a tonacity to the muscles that get tense over and over. And so, interestingly, when you have thoughts about murdering someone because they're driving you insane and you can't handle it anymore over and over again, you work out your chin and you get a really worked out chin that has a lot of tone to it, like Amber's chin. She is someone who has, you can tell by her face, she has been through a lot in her life. If you look at the thinness of her nose, like width-wise, it's so thin width-wise. And this is someone who has not had help in her life. She is self-made all the way.
Absolutely.
And she's too.
Yeah, I pick up on that same thing. I definitely think that she has not been cared for, nurtured. Neither one of them, I think, has this feeling of being nurtured. And as far as Amber goes, I actually think her, as much as people might disagree, there's going to be a lot of people disagreeing with this, but what I'm picking up on from her energy is she has this natural inclination to actually want to reverse that. And I feel like she wants to take care of people. She wants to be loved. She wants so badly to be loved. Johnny, in his like ideal mind, would also like that, but there's like things in the way that come into play that I don't know if there's anything you can pick up on like with his face about that. But she, to me, feels more like a nurturer, somebody who wants to take care of others and just please them, like a really please people. So
yeah, there's a feature actually, and I have this in another slide down at the end, a profile picture, but her nose is upturned slightly, which goes exactly with what you just said, Haley. She's a person who, like, if somebody's not okay, instead of like hiring someone to go drop, hours off at their house or something, she's going to show up and be like, what can I do? How can I help you? What can I make you? She's a hands-on, it would be hands-on to help someone, where Johnny would be the opposite. It'd be like, here's a wad of cash. He has a feature in his nose that's like a propensity to make massive amounts of money, but then to just spend it all.
Yes.
So got that in his.
Absolutely. There's also something that you're bringing up that's I'm picking up on with her energy. I feel like she has this ability almost to be very flexible or almost chameleon-like with who she's with, because she wants to please somebody so bad. Mm-hmm. I'm picking up on with her that this is like opposite of me, kind of. I feel like she would be very go with the flow in certain situations, like very adaptable. If she were put in a dire situation, I feel like she would be able to kind of roll with the punches and be okay with it to an extent. She probably would fight back, but I don't know why I keep picturing her like in like a camping scenario where like if on those survivor shows, like if she got dropped in like a survivor setting, I feel like she has the grit to like get through that kind of thing. I'm saying she's the opposite of me because I really like my comforts of home and coziness. And I feel like she has this kind of resiliency to her.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is a resiliency to her. She's been through so much, and
Yeah.
a lot of it she'll never speak of. She's got these lines. Let's look. I have another picture of her over here. There's some pictures of Johnny here. We can come back to those, but check out this deep line in the side of her mouth here.
Mm-hmm.
And Haley, you probably picked up on this. She's got lots of things down inside. In fact, you said something about this earlier.
Yes.
She's got lots of things deep down inside that she'll never let out of the vault. She'll never talk about psychic traumas that she'll never ever speak of. Mm-hmm. And as we all know, when your emotional bucket gets really full, you can be triggered really easily. And she is a hothead. If you look at how the width of her forehead, she doesn't have a real big forehead, which is going to be quick to action. She's more of a doer. So it's going to be just hothead type reactions to things. But all the while, she does have a roundness in her chin, a roundness in her cheeks, which is what Haley's talking about, like that wanting to nurture, but just having had, you know, a crap childhood and just a hard go at life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. This picture, I do find this picture interesting because in her eyes, you see something called cutting. So in face reading, when the eyelid kind of comes down the eye far enough on the top, it's called cutting. And you do see this in, I'm just gonna be totally honest, you see this in a lot of criminals. So if you go online and you punch in mugshots of criminals, you're going to see a lot of what's called cutting, and the eyelid just comes down too far. And this is seen in people that have their own agendas, and people that have their own hidden agendas and think very differently. And their agendas are the most important thing to them. When it's combined with good features, it's not considered necessarily a criminal thing. It's just
like, I have this, Lori, as you're saying this, I'm like, it's like a hooded eye. Is that what we're talking about?
Like it's kind of like the whole eye comes down lower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you have this. Okay. It's the whole, do you see how it is? It's almost like the eye's too relaxed.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Just picture those criminals that pop up on TV. Yeah. You're looking at them and they're just sitting back and their eyes just too relaxed.
Yeah.
Just this relaxation of the eye. And this is what she has. And this is because when we grow up and we're not nurtured and we're not taken care of, we turn inside. Nobody's sticking up for me or taking care of me. I have to take care of myself. And life has been really hard for her. And you can see that her ears are very small, which is also someone who can't trust other people. They have to trust themselves. So it's almost like she was already in a position of vulnerability in a lot of ways, just because of all the stuff she's gone through in her life and all the hardness she's had in her life. And so it was kind of a perfect pairing of energy for someone who's a more dominant force. I mean, Johnny Depp is eloquent in his speech. He's clever. He's 10 steps ahead of everybody else. His ears, look at the height of his ears. You can see how his ear goes all the way up to his eyebrow, maybe even higher. That's someone who processes information so quickly that it can be intimidating to other people. I would imagine, I haven't watched the court case, but I would imagine that he's really good at making her look stupid or making her look like she doesn't know what she's talking about. And he's going to be doing that better than she is. He's going to present probably better, more convincing. He's going to have more emotional pull because it's in his face to do that. He's good at it. He actually has a feature that says that he can hold polar opposite, play devil's advocate in his head at the same time while he's having a conversation. And that's somebody who's brilliant, who's a visionary.
Yes, visionary for sure.
I
haven't seen his testimony myself, just to be clear on that. And, you know, another thing I wanted to ask you about, Lori, that we have talked about with this is I am like really just intrigued by the fact that the millions and millions of Americans that are just like out to get Amber, like, and are just absolutely 100% siding with Johnny. I just find that fascinating because when I read their energy, I was surprised that what I was picking up on felt a little bit different than what the masses were saying. And you had talked about, what did you call it?
Yeah, priming. We had a conversation about priming. And so priming is a very interesting thing. Basically, the fact that Johnny Depp is in all of our unconscious minds as a Disney character for years and years and years and years, right? For years and years and years means that at the unconscious level, everybody wants Johnny to win no matter what he did. Because we've been primed to love him, where Amber, she's less known. You know, and she hasn't been raised up inside of us in our unconscious minds as a Disney character. I mean, he's like the golden boy and kind of quirky and kind of strange, and everybody's dark side kind of resonates with him through all these Disney characters and quirky characters that he plays. And so he's going to be pulling at people's heartstrings at the unconscious level. People don't even understand why. They're just like, oh, you know, I like Johnny better. So that can definitely, what's going on. Good. All right. I'm going to pull out of here so you can.
Okay.
Come on in.
So I'm going to, do we want to read this? You want me to read this photo first, or should I bring up mine?
Whatever. Would you like to read these or do you better read on yours? I'm totally fine. Just tell me what to pull up. If you want.
This one feels a little dark to me as well. I'm actually going to bring up my photos.
Pop out of here.
Okay, so there we are. Okay, so this is, I wanted to bring up a photo for your sake too, Lori, of one of him from when he was younger, and see how his face changed to a more recent photo. But I'm going to go ahead and just kind of pick up on what I'm seeing just with his energy in general. Now, when I look at the photo of him young, there's a lot to kind of unpack there. But for me, the energy of the photo on the right, it almost makes my stomach turn a little bit. Like, it scares me. Like, there's something that happened, I almost feel like, in his life, that whether it's addiction taking a hold or not, but it's like a turn, and something with his eyes, everything, it's like this darkness almost seems to have come over him. So let me just see what I'm getting. I absolutely feel like there's this grip that addiction has on him and has almost destructed his life. And there's also this feeling that he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want to stop the addiction. Like, even if he was given all the options to, it's like this feeling of almost like, I think that there's a lot of shame that he holds too, a lot of shame. And it's almost like this worthlessness. Like, what's the point if I quit? Like, what's even the point? Not just with addiction, but with like life. Like, he has things that he loves on one hand, but I don't know. There's just this feeling of like, what's even the point? Why am I even here? I think that he may have had moments of suicidal thoughts, definitely kind of depression. It just, the whole thing is feeling very, very, very sad. His energy feels really sad to me. And a lot of shame is also what I'm picking up on. So I also am seeing like violence, like you were saying, a lot of violence, a lot of rage. And just, it's hard to explain because I'm trying to say everything, but I don't want to like, I don't know. I don't want to like say it too bad, but there's just a lot of darkness, and it makes my stomach kind of curl, and it kind of gives me the shivers. And I'm not saying that I think that he's a bad person at all. I don't think he's a bad person. I just think he has like inner demons that have come out and caused a great deal of anguish and shame, all those things. And it's hard for him, I think, to even find like purpose in trying to be good. I think that there's a point where he lost sight of like having hope for his life, and I feel like he gave up, if that makes sense.
It totally makes sense. And I'm with face reading, you're just reading shapes and symbols. And one of the symbols that stuck out to me was this 3 safety pins in his left ear.
Mm.
And I thought that was interesting because what do you use safety pins for? It's like when something's completely ripped apart, you use them to hold it together. And so that fits with what you're saying, like just someone who's just been tattered and torn into
Yeah.
pieces, and the darkness is in there. And he is, I mean, look at him. He dresses dark. He puts dark makeup on. He is a dark person. He wears dark eyeliner.
Yeah.
I mean, he's dark and he makes no attempt to hide it. In fact, he shows it. Look at my darkness.
Right. There's almost this like just fuck it thing with everything. Like there's just no, it's like no regard for boundaries with others or even with himself. It's just like he does not care. So while he's here on this earth, he's going to do anything and everything and experience every single feeling of everything that he possibly could, no matter the ramifications. It's like he just doesn't give a shit. I don't think.
Yeah.
And that's probably why he even wanted to do this case, is because he's like, anybody that tries to like stomp on that on his way. And that's another thing I pick up on with his energy, is very much like this tendency to have his certain way that he wants to do things, his certain way of going about just life, his routines. I actually see like rituals with him. Like I feel like he's very ritualistic with the things that he does, like maybe even with his drugs. Like he probably has like certain things that he does that are very ritualistic, and he doesn't like people. So that's where in one way I think that his money serves him a lot, is because he doesn't like people telling him what to do. I feel like he has a problem with like authority. He wants to be the authority on his life 100%. And he wants to do things his way. And he doesn't like it when people tell him otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. That's between his eyebrows. They're kind of close, pretty close together. And people, when their eyebrows are really close together, it is exactly what you're saying. It's authority issues.
Yeah, for sure. I think that he loves so hard. And I think that he hates hard too. Like there's this extremist in him also that I pick up on, like this levels of extreme passion. And I think that addiction and all the things that kind of cloud and make that side of the darkness come out, make that passion, it can take it in the wrong way really far. But then also on like the positive side, can bring out this beautiful like artist in him. I just feel like the creativity is like seeping out of him as well. So, but yeah, it's very much like two sides kind of. I feel like I see passion and creativity and beauty on one hand, it's so far this way, and then there's like darkness that can go so far this way. And because he doesn't give a shit, it's like he wouldn't care to make that other side better, I don't think. So, and it's interesting because when I look at him when he's younger, his energy feels lost then. I don't think that he's ever found the thing that he was looking for, ever. I don't think he ever will in his life either. So that's a little bit sad. I'm going to switch to the next photo. These photos of him. This is currently at the trial.
Yeah. He just looks mean here.
He does.
Angry.
It's like the darkness is kind of coming stronger. And it's interesting. He actually has like it looks like an angel maybe on his scarf. But I also, in this current picture of him at the trial, the energy I pick up on is this just like fed up and over it kind of feeling. Like even though this was his doing, it's like I feel like obviously he wants to be somewhere else. He doesn't want to be here. His mind just feels like it's in la la land. Like he's just not present. And so one thing I see with him, just picking up on his energy, I have seen this just so much. I keep seeing, just like I'm writing, like I see writing, just like words and words and words. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps a journal or a diary for his like innermost deep thoughts. And I actually think that someday we are going to see some of those thoughts and they're going to be like revealed to the public. That's just a little prediction I see with him, because I see like endless amounts of writing on paper in his handwriting. So I don't know if he writes like poetry, writes music. I have no idea, but I really feel within those writings will be a lot of kind of self-deprecating, like shame statements and things about how he's fucked up his life and things he wished that he could have done differently. Yeah, it's like I feel like he has this want to have been better. Like there is some remorse, I feel, but he wasn't strong enough to take action to make a difference. And maybe there wasn't just enough care for himself or for others to take that stance, you know, to do anything differently.
Yeah. I find it interesting that I'm sure this was planned from his lawyer. I'm sure it was planned, but when you talk about priming someone's mind, a lot of times the first thing that's said or the first initial thing that's seen is what primes, is what kind of makes the soundtrack to whatever else is happening. And for him to be wearing an angel tie is,
well, I don't know if that one's from, I don't think that one's from the trial. The one on the right is from the trial, but
hearts. Yeah. So hearts.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. And this would be priming also, you know, pulling on people's heartstrings in like, think about how you love me. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did hear someone tell me that he had been cracking jokes on the stand, which would be also reminding people's unconscious minds how funny he is and reminding people of his characters in movies, which would be another way of priming. Big court cases, there's so much priming and so much unconscious work that goes into doing a jury selection and just priming the jury to pick the way that they want to pick. A good lawyer is going to do all that stuff. So I think that that's interesting that he's wearing hearts on his skull.
Yeah, that is. Just kind of tuning into his energy. He absolutely has a charming ability. I also want to I'm picking up on something else I just want to mention, and it's this thing around like sex. Because he has this secretive energy that's like, and this is different from being private. Like there's people that are private, but he has this whole secrecy thing. It's like the only person kind of in Johnny's world, I feel like, is Johnny. Like he doesn't care to tell a lot of his secrets to other people. So I do believe that he has a strong tendency to lie or just like hide things, like keep things and never let them out. Kind of like you were saying with Amber as well. I see a lot of secrecy, and I definitely see I feel like there's an aspect of betrayal for multiple people from him. Let's see. But what I was saying was like, I think that he thinks so many things are beautiful. Like he really has the ability to see so much beauty in the world and in people and in women. There's just something about like the sexual energy, like women energy, where I feel like he sees so many different kinds of women as like beautiful and sexual. And I don't know, there's like this kind of like fiery red hot thing there that I don't know how to pinpoint it, but I definitely pick up on that, to where it's not like sex addict so much. It's more just like, I don't even know. It's a sexual kind of energy that's, I think he wouldn't mind. I mean, he's probably had a lot. I mean, obviously he's Johnny Depp, but and maybe that's just what I'm picking up on. But like, I feel like he's had a lot of sexual partners. So,
yeah, I wish I could find a feature for that. I'm going to keep looking for a feature for that. There's one in the ears. That's
okay.
But because he has all these piercings, I can't tell.
Interesting. Okay,
so what it looks like. Yeah.
Anything else to add about Johnny? I'm going to move to Amber.
Oh, I just love this, like on the picture on the right, this little swerve in his forehead.
Yeah.
If you see it, it's actually kind of looks like a step if you see it in different light.
Yeah.
And that when somebody has that on their forehead, it's somebody who has reached a level of nobility, which is kind of awesome, because it's the first time I've ever seen that feature. So I was like, oh, that's
so cool. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so let's check out Amber. And again, I don't know when the photo on the left was from. I just got it from Google. And then the one from the right is obviously from the court case. And it's interesting to me because, again, her energy feels very different in both photos. It's like, I feel like she's more like a young lamb, like ready to take on the world. And then there is this energy of not defeat, but just feeling like she's been through so much in the picture on the right. And so let me just see what I'm picking up on, and I'll kind of let you feel free to chime in. But as I pick up on her energy, there's definitely something about her that I feel like I'm seeing her wanting to put things behind her if she can, but there's just so much like built up inside. I feel like she's got to do work. She should come, if she could come to one of our retreats, it would be amazing. I just feel like she needs like that spiritual aspect to just release all this stuff. Yeah. But I feel like she has an optimism to her where I can see that she's like wanting to move forward in her life. And she wants love and she wants good things. And I feel like she's definitely willing to do what it takes to get those things. And yeah, at whatever cost, like she wants to have a happy life is what I pick up on with her energy.
Yeah, her eyes tilt upwards. So if you look at the inner corner of her eye compared to the outer corner, you can tell they kind of tip upward like cat eyes. And that's an optimism trait, that's seeing the positive in things, even if there's a lot of darkness, just hold it. And she's got this feature in her to just hold on to.
Yes.
Hold on, and I'm going to try to see the good in this darkness. I'm just going to hold on and hold on. And then of course she's got that hot headedness. So she holds on all the way until she like just explodes.
And I do. Yeah. Sorry. I pick up on that as well, that she definitely has like the kind of fighter energy in her. She's going to, she's not going to just be a doormat and let people walk all over her. She's going to stand up for herself 100%. And let's see what else. I do feel like she definitely, I think over time with these two pictures, it's like, I do feel like she's learning to learn herself more. Whereas before, I feel like that more chameleon kind of aspect I was talking about, to kind of just go with whatever comes her way and whoever she's with, like to kind of morph into, you know how there's those people like that they like kind of morph with whoever they're with. Yeah. I feel like in the past she was more like that. Her current energy feels like she's more coming into herself and realizing what she wants and what who she is. Yeah. So I don't know if there's a trait for that or like a face trait, but she's strong. She's strong-willed. She's strong energy. I mean, there is a lot to her energy. It's just like, it's full, it's big.
She's a firecracker.
Yeah, a firecracker. Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely. That padding on her chin too. That is someone who is a formidable enemy. That is someone who is very stubborn. They will go to any length to get their way, and they're not going to be pushed around. So Johnny just, he picked the wrong person to pull into a bad relationship.
Yeah. And so I'm just going to see. So as far as like my predictions go or anything for the case, just picking up on their energy, it's clear that this is just a toxic relationship. I mean, it was going to be. But like I was saying with both of them, I feel like they're both so passionate. So the love was so extreme. And then the hate was also so extreme. There's like both ends of the spectrum and everything in between. And that really causes this toxicity. Of course, you bring in Johnny's like darkness and addiction that he doesn't even care that much to do anything about. And that's going to bring in other aspects that are what we're kind of seeing playing out right now. And so there is this feeling though with Amber in particular that I really just feel like if she could have had it her way, she would have just buried this behind her or buried it inside her because I don't feel like she's let go of a lot of things and just wants to move on like with her life and not even dwell on this anymore. I've had this vision of her though. I keep seeing her on a cover of a magazine in like a white shirt, and she's kind of casual, and it's like she's actually being celebrated. So I know that the nation like hates her guts right now. But I see that turning around a little bit. So just from a prediction standpoint, I feel like she is going to be somewhat celebrated. And I know people are going to have a hard time hearing that, but I really do. I see that happening. I keep seeing a morning, like a morning news show. that she's like giving her side. I don't think either of their careers are going to really recover from this. I definitely see them both being more like producers in the background. I actually think Johnny may end up having a harder time. And it doesn't make sense. Like what I know right now, with the way people think about him, everything, it doesn't make sense because everybody's like on his side. But I see a lot of like backlash coming his way, and it's going to be hard for him to get past that. Not as far as like money goes, but like emotionally, you know what I mean? I think he's going to have a hard time with what this court case has done for his like ego and everything. As far as his relationships in the past and everything goes, I do predict that there will be probably 2 to 3 females that are going to step forward after the fact and also report things that have happened that have been in the shadows, and for whatever reason, because of fear, they haven't come forward. Like we were talking about at the beginning, Amber definitely has a bravery to her, a fear for sure. I feel like she is afraid, but she's like, she doesn't have a choice and she's ready to like make a stand. And I think other women are going to come to her and come in her corner. I think that a lot of this is going to flip around. I don't see it happening very quickly. I feel like it's going to be over a year, maybe 2. But yeah, I do see her gaining more support for being brave in her story. Another thing that's interesting, and this is an interesting one that I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to just share everything I'm picking up on. I feel like Johnny has a physical illness. I'm picking up on that, and it's definitely organ related. And I think it's something that is more serious than anybody knows about currently. I actually think that he's like ill, like has something happening. And
that's so interesting because I was looking at his face and he just hasn't been the right color. Like there are a lot of pictures where he's just not the right, just doesn't look the right color, like his skin tone will change.
Yeah.
And I know some of that is like makeup and things like that, but some of it is just, you can tell it's just skin tone fluctuations, which totally fits along with what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that that's going to come out. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised as a prediction. Like if all of you are like, oh my gosh, what you said is right, because I see that coming to the surface, that he has some kind of illness, and it's almost like a deterioration is what I'm seeing of like an organ internally. So I'm seeing that. I don't see him really getting better with his addiction. I think that that's going to be something he's going to die with. Amber, like I said, it's like I see the perception of her shifting after this court case, as far as like who will win, what the outcome will be. I wonder if we should I could pull out my pendulum. But let me see. I do feel like Amber is going to come out a winner, actually. I don't think that Johnny's going to win this case. So we'll see if I'm right about that. And I do see more donations happening as well. Even though I know there's a whole controversy over donations or something, but I see donations happening. And I don't see Johnny actually ever being in a stable relationship. He's never really has seemed to be in a stable relationship. I think that some of the people he was with before are lying about things. And I don't see him having like a secure, stable relationship really ever again. Partners, sexual partners, yes, but not a stable, long-lasting relationship. For Amber, I do see that actually. Maybe not forever. I see her having a long-lasting relationship with like the next one, either, I don't know if she's with anybody right now, but like the one after the next. And I do see it being a male that she's with for a long period of time, at least. So yeah, what else could there be to predict from their case? I'm not sure what else I could pick up on. Okay, and I know that Amber has a baby girl. I do see another child coming into her life as well, possibly a baby boy added to the mix. And let's see, anything else that the spirit wants me to know about them, or What's interesting too with Amber is she actually definitely has, they're both like such full energy people. I don't know how to put that into words. They are so dynamic and complex, right? Like I feel like these are some of the most complex energies I've ever connected to. Both creative, passionate, storytellers. They're both absolutely storytellers. I feel that from them. I think that she's also going to write a book. I see a book happening. And I do see a movie, of course, as well. I mean, we all know there's going to be a movie, but I think that the movie actually will benefit Amber more. I think it's going to tell it more from her side of the story. So I see a book and a movie coming in the future with her. What I was going to say though, is I actually think that she is quite spiritual. And I don't know if that's ever been said or not, but I feel that she has the ability, and she's quite intuitive. So yeah, I think she could really tap into that. And
yeah,
because I do feel like she, even though she's got a temper and she also has like this fiery energy, like you don't want to mess with her. There's definitely an empathic, like I was talking about before, part of her personality and energy. Like I really do feel like she truly deeply cares about people.
It's funny on her profile, the bottom part of her face comes out so much further than the rest of her face, and that is someone who is really led by intuition. And really, when you're spiritually connected and you're connected to your intuition, you can't not be connected to love.
Yeah,
and that other kind of love, right? Like that's that soul esteem type of love.
absolutely. That's what I'm picking up on with her. Like it's definitely there, and I feel like the circumstances in her life, she's been through so much, like you were saying, and I feel that it's just been hardship after hardship.
And she's a hothead. There's no denying she's a hothead. She has stuffed and then she bursts and has done things I'm sure she regrets, and that is definitely a huge part of her personality. And I think that's something that she's probably going to learn a lot about, controlling and changing through a trial like this. I can't imagine having all of it thrown in your face like this.
Absolutely. I'm wondering if we should include anything on just from the readings on what our takes are like, or do you think we should just leave it? I don't know. People want to hear our personal opinion, but
yeah, do it.
Okay. Well, my opinion, I was actually shocked because before I went online and read people's takes and how many supporters Johnny had, just from reading their energy, for me personally, I thought it was quite clear that he was bringing the darkness to the relationship and he was the instigator. Like I said, I absolutely see physicality, rage from both sides, lots of regret, shame from both sides. It's just toxic. It was a toxic environment. But I think that the thing to blame here is substance abuse. I really do. And I don't feel and see that as heavily with Amber as with Johnny. And so personally, I'm not team either one of them. Like I don't know them. I wasn't there, but energy does not lie. And Amber's energy is a lot lighter and a lot more loving than Johnny's is.
Yeah. And and we're comparatively speaking, right?
Yeah.
Like Haley and I, we're not going around blowing up on people and stuff like Amber has the propensity to, but comparatively speaking, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I have watched a bit of her testimony and I do not feel she was lying. I really don't. Maybe has the ability to exaggerate some things, but I truly, in my heart, just from my intuitive abilities, believe that she is telling the truth. And I think that the whole thing, when it comes down to it, is just absolutely devastating for both of them, because I don't think either one of them is a bad person. I think they are products of their environments and of their care that they received, and not knowing, I feel like there's definitely an emotional immaturity from both of them, and just not having a good sense of self and knowing how to be in certain situations, like at all. And so it's led to a really dark path, and it's just, there's no way to cut it. It's freaking sad. It really is. And I think it's really sad that Johnny thought bringing a case like this to try. I mean, it's obviously entertaining, but that's sad too. Like, I think he's absolutely out of his mind to have brought this case to trial, to let Amber speak and to do all of that. I think it's insanity.
Yeah, it is insanity. And there's a giant power differential with these two beings. He has so much power, so many connections. He's such a powerful being. He's been in so many movies, and yes, she is an actress and a model, but the power differential is so different that it's in my mind, I go to this, when a power differential is that different, there cannot be it can't be an equal match, you know? You have some young girl out in the world, some young girl with this like multi-millionaire. It's not like, it's just not a match. It can't be an even match. And so one person's going to get taken advantage of. And she is a complete hothead. There's no denying that she is a hothead and that she loses it emotionally. From the couple of things I've heard, that is what it is. And also, he's very calculating. And when he loses it, it's going to be behind closed doors. And there's no denying that he is dark, and he wears that darkness. He wears it as a badge of honor. And he's not trying to say he's not dark. He straight up wears the black eyeliner and the black clothing and all of that. And so I think that she's young, that she had to go at it alone her whole life, that she didn't have family backing her up, and that she's learning a lot from this. And I mean, all of her mistakes are being brought up and thrown in her face. And so I can see what you're saying, this transformation from this. I mean, what is it, like purified by fire? Seriously, you go through something like this and come out different. And that is in her face. There's enough roundness and kindness in her face that all is not lost. Where with Johnny, it's kind of like, it's too late. When you look at his face, like, it's too late. All the darkness is there, all the hardships, all the like, people just get cold and they get hard from experience. And then it's really difficult to back that up. I think what Johnny would need is like a really good trip into the rainforest and ayahuasca or something. I don't know.
Think he'd survive it, to be honest. That's what I feel like. He is so it's like self-absorbed in a way, not in like a totally selfish way, but it's just like he's in his own thing. But at the same time, he does not like know how to take care of himself at all. And I feel like that's part of the reason why he picked Amber, is like, she's the kind of person that wants to take care of people, I think, but you don't want to cross her and you don't want to cross him. It's just like, just didn't work out. It was a bad match from the beginning.
Cosmic.
Yeah. And I hope that they can find forgiveness. You know, that's really, hopefully it's a message of forgiveness for them in this lifetime. I wouldn't be surprised if that's why they're on this earth, is to learn that. Because forgiving themselves and forgiving each other.
In my best case scenario, Haley, they go through all this trial thing, they make up, and then Disney makes a movie telling their stories and they play each other. Like, I think it'll never happen. But it was like, how cool would that be?
There's something with Johnny it's like I hear like time's up for him. And I don't mean that in like because he's a predator. It's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like he's just done. He's not coming back, like you were saying. His addiction has taken hold. Yeah, I don't see him coming back from it in this lifetime.
I don't see him either, just from the features on his face. It's gone too dark,
right,
and too hard into those dark places. And
okay, well, that was amazing. So thank you so much, Lori, for all of your professional expertise, insight. It's just incredible. And I hope that people don't judge us too harshly and just know that we are literally putting our egos aside and reading energy and reading faces, facial features. Take from it what you want. Hopefully this was really fun to watch. So, and hopefully we'll do more. Hopefully we'll do more crime cases.
I know.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So, okay, everybody have a great rest of your day and great night. And hopefully we'll see you again soon for the next case. And to Johnny and Amber, thanks for, even though you didn't give us permission, but thanks for being out there and letting us have fun tonight and reading your energy. So thanks, Spirit. All right. Thanks, Lori. Bye.
Bye.